Welcome back, folks. It's a long time in the making. We're calling this season two, but don't you worry. The boys are back. Empire's finest. It's me, Creek's Corner. I'm back. And as always, my man, Anthony Fontenello. Font, what's good, buddy? Long time no see.
No, man, you've been wrapped up. You've been wrapped up being the head wrestling coach for a high school wrestling team, and got a new job. And we've been real busy these past couple of months.
Dude, it's crazy. School. I mean, the last time we recorded was December 8th. I was pre-lockout, pre a lot of stuff going on, but it was just even back then I was just kind of have my head underwater in wrestling and schoolwork. But now, close the book on the winter. It's March. We're back in this almost in the spring, even though it's freaking 20 degrees outside still.
Yeah, exactly.
We have some days where it's nice, some days where it's not, but everyone rest assured, the long awaited return. We're here, Empire's finest, back, not in studio, but Zoom works too. It makes it a little bit more convenient time wise. I can just hop on whenever. Like it's 8:45 on March 3rd. Boys want to hop in? We're here. I have a lot to talk about. If you guys were listening last year, most of our content was centered around baseball. That right now is not happening. We're gonna get into that. I'm ready to drive over to Rob Manfred's house and knock on his door and say a few nice words. Nothing else. No violence because I'm not threatening anyone. But I'm pissed off at baseball. I'm pissed off. And I kind of talked about a little bit this on cheese, but I'm fucking pissed at the players too. As time goes on, I'm getting less and less mad at the players. I'm fucking want to shove a pole up all these owners' asses. But the boys are back. The Lakers look like dog shit. And I'm pissed about the NHL being on ESPN. So that's kind of where we're at. We're going to try and keep the show a little bit tighter. We're going to try to do not a quick 45, but a good 45 minutes, 40, 45. Make it a little bit easier for you guys to listen to. I'm going to let you start, Anthony. Tell me how you feel about Rob Manfred right now.
Rob Manfred really is like making more and more of a case as to being the worst commissioner in baseball history. I mean,
Worst commissioner in all sports history.
yeah, you could say that too. It's getting really bad. I mean, did you hear his like press conference after they canceled games? He was going on about how they were blaming interleague play for some of the. I said, "What you're blaming it? What the hell does that got to do with anything?" He's blaming interleague play. He blamed minor leaguers. He's like, oh well, you know the player. Then he basically is just blaming everything on the players. Basically, the owners are doing the best they can. That's basically what I got from that. Was
Yeah. Meanwhile, he clearly said they weren't negotiating in good faith like the entire time. Like
crazy.
it's just fucking garbage now. I'm so sick of it.
This is bad. Like this is really really bad for baseball. I mean, thank God like we weren't alive for when the 94, the 95 World Series was canceled. We weren't alive for that. We kind of like came into like baseball's resurgence, and this has the has the very big potential to like ruin it all. Because you know what's a really scary timeline? Let's say they don't get this done by the honestly, I'd say the end of April. They don't get this deal done by the end of April. That means you're not starting until June. What's in June? You got Stanley Cup playoffs, NBA playoffs. Basically, you got two of the most watched playoffs going on at the same. You're gonna have them going on at the same time, and then you're gonna start up be like, oh hey, baseball's back. Like at that point, everyone's gonna be like, we don't care anymore. Like
The best part about
nobody
baseball
cares.
is where it starts. We're opening day, March 31st. If you're diehard baseball fans like us, you're gonna watch, day in and day out. That doesn't matter. But a lot of casuals baseball fans, they'll watch the first week, they'll watch the first month, and like you said, they're getting into the playoffs. Hockey, NBA, they're gonna be watching all that. Baseball just completely miscalculated as to what they got going on. Like they have no clue that like it or not, it's a dying sport. We all wish it wasn't. I wish the Mets and the Yankees and every other team were the most relevant, sports teams in town like they were. But that's just not the case anymore. But even the shitty Knicks, they're still one of the more relevant teams in New York. They're so fucking stupid. And what I came to realize the other day is that I was talking to my dad about this, and I was like, "Yeah, Dad, like this sucks, huh?" He was like, "You know what? Like, I don't care." He's like, "I'm not." He's like, I'll watch the Mets, but I don't give a shit about baseball anymore. He's like, they're just fucking ruining. They're driving people away, and that's the last thing baseball needed to do. They did not need to drive people away.
They just can't like. they can't figure out. It's not even like figuring out a deal. It's like the matter, like in the sense of what I was hearing is that like a lot of it's got to do. Obviously, a lot of it's got to do with money. Money makes the world go around. That's the only thing that anybody cares about. The money that was being talked about, from what I hear, is the difference of a couple 10, 20 million, give or take, you know, and to players and owners, that's like me and you arguing over 10 or 20 bucks. And I feel like at the same time, there's just so much stuff that's going on, like that the players aren't happy about. The owners, I think the only reason that they're being like real dicks about the whole thing is because of COVID and they're all businessmen and all they see it as is, oh, we lost a ton of money. That's all they see it as is we lost a ton of money. We need to make it back up somehow. And the players at the same time want more money, and the owners are just not willing to budge. I mean, it's like actually pretty ridiculous. Although there are some rules in baseball that are just like really stupid, like the service time manipulation crap. That I can't stand. The minor league system, those guys need to be paid they got money to pay them a little bit more than what they make, which I think is something ridiculous. Like you could be getting paid like $600 a week depending on what level you're in. I think like single A makes like something stupidly low.
Yeah,
It's not even fucking a joke. Like it's actually horrible.
the players have real gripes. Obviously, the way that we saw it with Pete Alonso, at least in New York, like they've really screwed the players with the player time and calling people up late and, giving them a full extra year in the minors, making 50, 60 grand when, they're clearly ready to, compete for the big leagues. The problem is that only 25% of the owners can, I think it's either 25% or 33 of the owners have to vote no for things not to get passed. So like for all we know, Steinbrenner, John Henry, whoever's running the Red Sox, Steve Cohen, all these people, they're probably voting yes to this shit because they don't care. They want to put a product in the field. And I get everyone wants to make money, owners too, but they're going to lose more money. I mean, I guess the only thing they're doing is just they're not paying the players, but you're losing money when your stadium's closed for the first 2 months of the season. It's less TV money. It's just there's less ads. You're not selling shit in the field. You're not selling concession. Like
you're losing a lot. You're losing a lot of money by canceling every team's what was it, first 2 series?
Well, yeah, the Mets lost 5 home games already. Like, what are we doing? Like, it's fucking horseshit, man. And yeah, people were crying about the car Scherzer was pulling up to the meetings in. Like, dude, that's the car he drives. Like, what do you want him to do? You want him to fucking walk there? Like
it's freaking World Series champion Max Scherzer. I'm sure the dude has made well over like 300 million in his career. I think he's going to drive the nicest car he can freaking get.
Yeah,
I don't really think it's a big deal.
Owners crying how they're losing money over the last 5 years. Like that's just not true. Like
they're all
we've seen the reports. They're
except for maybe the Pirates and the Rays owners who just need to line their pockets all the time. But that's a completely different story.
Yeah, I mean, like spend the money that you're getting paid for the TV deals. Like, just spend the money. It's not hard. Pay your players. And that's the thing is, if you pay players, like other players will come and want to be a part of your team, and maybe eventually then they'll start taking discounts to come be a part of your franchise. Like, there's a reason why some of these big teams are competing. It's because players want to go there. Players want to get paid. Players want to play with other good players. Like, it's just
why do you think Francisco Lindor is in New York now? Because he was not going to get anywhere near the money that he got here in Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have loved to stay in Cleveland.
I'm sure, yeah. He went to a World Series with them. I'm sure he would have loved. But look at that team. Look at the World Series team and look at that team now. That was 2016. That was 6 years ago. There is almost not a single person still left on that roster that was on that World Series team.
Yeah, if you don't think he would have loved to be in Cleveland, no pressure, be the hero, be the guy. People cheer for him no matter what. This guy was getting booed after the first week of May last year. Like, you don't think he would have loved to cash his fucking $410 million up however much he's getting paid in Cleveland and just living the time of his life? He probably could have bought all of Cleveland with this contract that he got in New York. Like, and I was probably living in an apartment somewhere in like Tribeca or some shit. Like, no one wants to fucking do that. But they want to get paid. They want to be a part of winning teams. And even though the Mets aren't winning right now, like there is a possibility that this is going to happen. Like, it's just it's pissing me off. And it's just like all I want to do is I want to go to a ball game. I want to top on the train, whether I'm going to Yankee Stadium or Citi Field. I want to go watch the team. Like, I want to go see Jacob DeGrom, Max Scherzer pitch. Like,
I was looking forward to going to a game so bad. Like, I really was. I really was. Like the last game I went to a Giants game in October. It was freezing cold. I ended up getting like strep throat like right after it, so it was not a good experience. I was like, I just want to go to a nice like spring Yankee game with like a nice 60 degrees sitting in the bleachers. Like that's what I want. But no, I guess I can't have that because you have millionaires and billionaires fighting over money.
Dude, it's ridiculous, man. And I guess that's kind of the narrative. People are a lot. I maybe it's just not on my Twitter, but I've seen a lot of people like defending the players as if like they're the ones that are being blamed. The only people I see blaming the players are Manfred and the owners. Like that's it. Everyone else seems to be on the player side. Like I don't know where this like propaganda is coming from against them. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm pissed at them too. Like we're arguing over how big the base is going to be. I can't believe that's a point of contention. Like we got the DH. I don't know what the solution is going to be. I don't even know if they're still talking anymore. But
Actually, they talked. Well, they didn't talk. I think it was the main negotiator from the PA and the MLB talked today for about an hour and a half. They have no idea when they will meet again. Isn't that crazy? It's a crazy. We got games canceled, and we don't know when we're gonna meet again. You better meet every freaking day until you figure it out. Like, what are we doing here?
I don't get why they weren't meeting every single day since December. As soon as the owners locked them out, as soon as we knew this was happening, like why'd we wait until the last like 10, 15 days before this implemented deadline to start fucking negotiating? Like it's just honestly garbage. Like and that's kind of where like my gripe is a little bit with the players is like they could have been pushing this a little bit harder. They could have been trying to figure stuff out in December, January, February, not wait until the last 10 days before this owner's manufactured deadline to have this conversation. And honestly, though, I think one of the worst parts about this is I kind of knew in the back of my head that this wasn't going to get done. But that Monday night when they were like, "Oh, that we got a chance," like two, Taman, Nightingale, everyone's tweeting. Bobby Nightingale's right for the first time in God knows how long. Everyone's going to be the hero. And they reconvene. They're close at 3 a.m. Whenever, 3 a.m. Monday night or into Tuesday morning. Then we wake up Tuesday and they're so far apart again. Like what was the point of fucking putting out all these rumors that were close?
If they couldn't get a deal done with that amount of time, they met like 6 times or something I think it was from Friday to Monday. They met like 6 different times. Then on top of that, you don't get the deadline, cancel games, and you haven't even meeten yet. You just sent your main negotiators to meet. They could not have been that close. If they were that close, first of all, the owners probably wouldn't have made the deadline thing. They probably would have waived it, and they would have been like, okay, well, we're actually really close, so we expect a deal this week. But obviously, you're so far apart that they were just like, screw it, cancel games.
There's a lot to unwrap here. I mean, it's just all I want to do is buy a $17 beer, a fucking $10 hot dog.
I want a freaking chicken bucket, man. I want a $20 chicken tenders and fries bucket.
Sit in the bleachers, crack a cold one, watch the game, buy another cold one, give the owners probably like $150 that day, and you do that 40,000 times over, and you're all right. But now we're crying over spilled milk, how the amount of teams in the playoffs. That's a common gripe. I mean, what do you think about that? Do you hate the 16-team playoff or no? I know honestly, we're not at 16. I think we're at 12 or 14 now.
I think it's
12, maybe.
God, I think it might be. No, I think it's a little more than 12. I think 14? It is 14. I think it's 14. Honestly, I think 14 is probably the best number. I think anything more than 14 is now you're kind of watering down the playoffs. What I think they should do instead of adding more teams, why don't we take the wild card games instead of wild card games, make it best 2 out of 3. You add more games into the playoff while still having the same level of competition. Because honestly, once you get past like when it was, like this year in the American League, the Yankees, I think the Yankees were the last wild card and the Red Sox were the first wild card. All right, sure. Right after them, you lost out on having the Blue Jays in there with Vlad Guerrero Jr. and all those young studs. But after the Blue Jays, it was such a major drop off and how like bad the teams were right after them. So to me, adding 2 more teams does not, I don't see that making any sort of sense. I feel like leave it the way it is, 2 wildcard teams, but maybe do it best 2 out of 3 instead of like 1 game elimination.
Yeah. So it is 12 teams. And Andrew McGinnis brought up a good point. And he was like, if they just do the top 2 teams in the division, which would make it 12, The Yankees wouldn't have made it last year, and the Blue Jays would have been out, but the Cleveland Indians at 80 and 82 would have made the playoffs. So that's just they're gonna have to figure out a new way to do this. I'm cool with the 12. I think 12 or 14 would have been fine. 16 is way too much. Like then we're just handing out participation trophies, and we're kind of doing it like
basically you're giving guys you're giving teams that are like almost 10 games under 500. You're giving them tickets into the playoffs.
Exactly. Like that doesn't mean shit. You have to incentivize the regular season. If the regular season doesn't matter, then there's no point.
At that point, the regular season really doesn't make a difference.
Exactly. 160. We'll be lucky. We'll be lucky if we play 120 this year.
Yes, 100%. I think we'd be very lucky if we play 120. I'm honestly looking at it. I'm thinking like 105 might be like our best case scenario. The way they're talking.
Yeah, and like the way if we do 105, 100 like that, we're not going to get the Subway Series. We're not going to get. I mean, I don't think we would do that. Like
maybe like
just
maybe
for the tickets, but like I don't.
They would probably they may give every team like one interleague series, and it would be just like what's going to be the best selling ones, which would be Yankees, Mets, like, I guess, and
Sox, Cubs,
Cubs, probably something like that.
Dodgers, Angels. I mean, I don't know. My biggest gripe with the players is that we weren't fighting for a spot, and we weren't arguing in December, November when we knew we were getting locked out. But my thing is the owners could have out and still while they're still negotiating, let them train, and then we have a spring training, do something. I don't know. I'm sure they'd rather be in facilities working with their teammates. The Mets signed all these guys, and they've never worked out together. Marcano, Starling Marte, all these guys they signed from Oakland. They haven't met the Mets yet. Now we're gonna. It's just really fucking. Every week we do this show, we're gonna have an equally long rant about this. It's just one of those really goddamn annoying.
You know what I think the craziest thing is gonna be? It could potentially be the month of May, and it's gonna be MLB free agency. You know what I mean? There's so many guys that are left unsigned. It's gonna be a free agency, just an absolute frenzy the second the deal is signed, and then it's gonna be what in mid-May we're gonna be signing free agents. That's supposed to be we're supposed to be
done by now. Yeah,
we're supposed to be well underway into the season at that point. I mean, come on, man. I'm just not happy at all
Twitter with this. Or it's around maybe Memorial Day. Hopefully we're getting games, if that, but then you're missing all of April, almost all of May. It's just how long are we gonna push this back? You're gonna start.
What do we have? What do we have for that time to fill in? At least in March, you got March Madness. But what do you got in April? You got the end of the NBA regular season. Boring. I mean, you got boring NHL end of the regular season. It's gonna be the same thing. Guys are gonna be resting. They're gonna be clinched. They're gonna have clinched spots already. We're just gonna be sitting there waiting for June.
They're gonna come back in June, and the numbers are gonna be down, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, what was me? We're not getting the viewers we want." Well,
I wonder why. Yeah, I wonder why, buddy.
I'm frustrated. Part of me just wants to be like, hey, write Steve Cohen a letter and be like, hey, just give all these cheap millionaires $10 million. Let them ease this over a little bit.
Just secretly fund the Pirates and just secretly fund the Pirates and all the really low teams too.
Just cut those owners a check. The cheap ones aren't going to spend money. Then they'll be like, okay, we'll spend more of our TV money. They're getting an extra $60 million this year with the extra playoff round. ESPN bought the rights for 60 times, whatever it is, 60 times 30. They're 30 teams, 32 teams. I think there's 30 MLB teams.
Yeah, it's 30. 30,
yeah,
30 teams.
Exactly. So, what is that? It's a lot of goddamn money ESPN paid for that. Pass the money around. Pay the minor leaguers, pay the guys. And I guess I know that they're saying is you're looking at Scherzer, 45 million, Cole making, he makes a shit ton of money too a year. The top guys make a lot of money, but then you look down. Pete Alonso doesn't make shit. He's still in his first contract. He gets less than $1 million a year. He won more money.
That's probably one of the
money from the home run derby than he did, and than he made in the entire season based off.
That's probably one of the craziest things. Whether you want to call Pete Alonso the face of the Mets or not, I mean, he's definitely
top.
He's not
five.
Jacob DeGrom is.
He's top 5.
I'd say he's probably top 3. Regardless, you got him, and Aaron Judge, who is the face of the Yankees. They're both salary-wise, their base salaries are not even they're I think barely $1 million combined.
They gave Judge the extension though, right? Were they signed him yet or no?
Nope, they haven't signed him yet.
It's crazy. My question is, and last thing before we move on, is how many of these agents how many of these players already know where they're going when this is over? Like Castellanos,
right?
Castellanos has to know,
right?
Chris Bryant, like all these people, they got to know where they're going.
I'm sure Correa, Castellanos, Chris Bryant, I'm sure they all know where they're going. Like there's just no way that they just can, you know what I mean? There's just no way that they just have no idea who they're going to. They got to know what kind of offers are out there.
And if their agents aren't negotiating for them, they need new agents already, because inevitably this is going to end. Whether it's we missed this whole season or we missed the first. You don't think there's a chance we missed the full season, do you?
If they miss the full season, now this is absolute worst case scenario. I don't think that'll happen. I don't think they'll miss the full season.
Yeah, I'm not ready.
If they miss the entire season, my words, baseball will be done. I mean, the sport will be freaking. It will lose all type of viewership. The only fans left will be the actual diehards, but you will lose any sort of like fair weather fans that you might have got. You're losing all of them.
Baseball's got like the perfect time where they have the entire
There's nothing
summer.
Going on. There's nothing going on. They
summer.
have the whole summer.
Playoff baseball is the best. Like people watch that in October. People watch pennant races down the stretch in late September.
You know the thing that kills me too. It's like, what else do you do in the middle? What else do you want to do in the middle of the week? Let's say you got, you know what I mean? Like it's just such a thing to do. Like go to a baseball game. It's like, hey guys, like I'm pretty bored. I get out of work a little early. You want to go to Yankee Stadium? Like, yeah, we'll go catch the game. What time is it? 7? Like, it's just one of the easiest things to sell.
The sports books must be loaded, dude.
I can guarantee you they're definitely not happy.
There's gonna be nothing to bet on. Nothing. And
come the summertime, there's really, I mean, I guess people are gonna start getting into soccer. I've already started to get into soccer because I've been scared of what's gonna happen with baseball.
Who's your team?
You have a team yet. I kind of just like a national guy, but I do like I like Chelsea. I like Chelsea a little bit because I got Pulisic over there, Captain America. So I like.
Anything else on baseball before we move on?
Baseball. It's just I'm really hoping for not the worst case scenario, but
yeah, I guess I'll wrap up in saying fuck you, Rob Manfred, like laughing in the press conference while you're not even putting a product in the field, and then fuck the owners too, and then that's it. Like part of me wishes that the Players Association just accepted the negotiator, because that we would have had baseball at this point. Like they turned down that offer a bunch of times, so that's kind of annoying. If there's no baseball, we're gonna all be watching every single second of NBA and NHL. Your boy LeBron, your team, the Lakers, not looking so hot, Ant.
Not looking so hot. It's an utter disgrace, a failure. I can't even come up with enough adjectives to describe what the Lakers are right now. Who
you blaming this on? LeBron, Rob Pelinka, Westbrook, like AD. Who is it going to be?
There's so much blame to go around, but I'll probably put it somewhere like this. You know what? I'm not going to blame Westbrook. Gets no blame for me. And you know why Westbrook gets no blame for me? Because he is exactly what we thought he was going to be. And they got him anyways. I can't blame a guy that brought to the table exactly what you knew he was going to. He's the one who showed up because he did exactly what he was going to do. Shoot bad, a lot of turnovers, couple triple doubles here and there, but most of the time not being able to play down the stretch of your game because he'll shoot you right out of a game. And that's what Westbrook is nowadays. And that's what he's been for a while. I blame LeBron a lot. I blame Anthony Davis a lot. I blame Rob Pelinka probably the most. I blame LeBron for going off of his wanting to play with Westbrook. I want to play with my friend. I want to play with Westbrook, blah, blah, blah. Well, look where that got you. You guys are horrible when what Rob Pelinka originally wanted to do was sign DeMar DeRozan, who would have came if we didn't spend all the money on Westbrook.
DeMar DeRozan, a career year too.
Hell yeah. The guy's having a career. The Bulls are the number one seed in the East. And why do you think so? Because they got DeMar DeRozan, who should have been a Laker, Alex Caruso, ex-Laker, but brings everything to that team that they need. And Zach LaVine has emerged into probably one of the best young players in the NBA.
Lonzo Ball, another former Laker on that team.
Lonzo Ball, another former Laker. Although, you know what? No, because I actually always like Lonzo, so I kind of see it as like whatever. But yeah, no, you are right, because Lonzo Ball is doing his thing out there. That's why they're good. And the Lakers are so old. Rob Pelinka just basically brought together the oldest team that he could find. I did not mind Melo coming in as like a guy off the bench, because Melo has actually not been bad off the bench. The problem is when Melo's having to play extended minutes, he gets exposed. Anthony Davis, I am so done with Anthony Davis. He is now a Disney for the rest of his life until he wins another ring. That like man, glass bones and paper skin. Adam, you used to watch SpongeBob?
I've watched SpongeBob, of course.
You remember the chocolate episode with the guy that was like, I break my arms every morning. I break my feet every night when I go to the bathroom. That is Anthony Davis. That is literally Anthony Davis. He steps on the court, out 6 weeks. It's amazing. Every injury that he's had this year, he's been hurt, I think, a total of 3 times significantly. He's missed 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Now he's missing 4 weeks minimum when they really need him, but he ain't going to come back. And if he does, it's going to be too little too late. Every single time, it's like he just comes back from an injury, gets hurt again. And I'm just so sick of like this guy. Like, he's supposed to be the franchise after LeBron leaves. That's our guy. He's hurt every 2 days. I can't deal with that. The guy lives in an MRI tube.
Yeah.
And then LeBron is hands down easily has just as much blame on this team, because the reason why is I know a lot of people don't want to believe in the led GM thing, but it is very true. And the only people who don't believe that are like the diehard LeBron fans. I'm not a diehard LeBron fan. I'm happy he came to Lakers, happy he won my team a championship, but at the same time, he could be doing a lot more. And it's just, you got to let the GM do what the GM needs to do. You got to because LeBron brings his feelings into it. That's why if LeBron ever wants to be an executive in the NBA, it's a horrible idea, because all he will do is sign people he likes, not the people that need to get signed.
Yeah, he'll give his son a supermax and like get Bronny's friends to come on the team.
That's exactly.
They'll lose 60 games a year.
He'll sign Dwayne Wade's kid. He'll sign his son, and then Dwayne Wade's kid might actually be really good, but like that's like kind of like beside the point. Is that he'll just sign a whole bunch of people that he's friendly with that maybe don't mesh together. I don't know, like he just always wants to have more say than he does. But like, you're already basically a coach on the floor. Just let the GM build the team the right way.
It's the same thing that happened in Cleveland, right? Like he wanted to do all these things. He wanted to trade.
The same thing that happened in Cleveland. It blew up in his face.
Exactly.
It literally blew up in his face. Kevin Love got hurt. Kyrie ended up hating him. And then when he's sitting there looking around playing the God Warrior team with Kevin Durant, Steph, Clay, and Draymond, he's looking around like, wow, I really have nobody left. All right, I'm out. And then he just dips. He just leaves. So
he's gonna leave again too.
At this point, he's nearing the end of his career. I mean, like, basketball is different than playing quarterback like Tom Brady, and also Tom Brady's. I'd almost go on a limb.
He's an alien.
I'd call him a demigod.
He's
an alien, a demigod, some supernatural force that he could still play at this level at 44. Basketball is not the same way. A lot of miles on those legs from LeBron. I mean, like, is LeBron still one of the top 10, top 5 players in the league? Absolutely, but can LeBron make everyone around him better like he has done for almost his whole career? Honestly, no, not so much. He can't really do that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of blame, I'm giving it 75% LeBron, 20% Pelinka, and then 5% everyone else, because Pelinka shouldn't have been a puppet for LeBron. Like, there's no point. He wasn't. I mean, I'm not saying the Lakers were great before he got there. I know they were struggling a little bit, and he's been the GM for a while there, right? Like he took over the year they won the finals in the bubble. That was the year they Oh, really?
Just
I
took
thought
over. Yeah,
he's been around for a while though. I knew his name for
he
where
was
was he?
Kobe's. He was Kobe's agent, and they gave him a lot of
Uh,
respect, and he was like advisor and all that other stuff. So
gotcha.
he
That's
got a
what
lot of respect there.
makes sense why I know. But yeah, I mean, being a puppet, I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense. But yeah, I mean, this is 75% LeBron for orchestrating this. And I mean, I don't really want to injury shame here, but I mean, Anthony Davis, what did he put? He just got 50 pounds heavier and like got ripped, and now he just can't stay healthy.
I don't understand, man. Like it's crazy.
like,
It's
dude,
actually
you
nuts
were
how
one
much
of the
he
best
took.
basketball players before you got shredded. Like, why you got it? Why'd you got to get big? Like, why'd you have to put on all that weight? I don't understand it. And his knees clearly
It's
aren't.
not his frame. Like you look at him and you're like, that guy is not supposed to be you know what I mean? Like he's supposed to be skinny. Like he's supposed to be a skinny guy. Yeah, you could have like some strength because you are a big man. You need some strength, but you don't need to be Shaq. Like Shaq's frame, Shaq was built to be a giant, a monster. Anthony Davis is not built like that. That's not how he's supposed to be.
Yeah, the man was a top five player. Like, I don't. There's no reason to change that much what you're doing. Like, you want to get a little bit stronger, I understand, but put on that much, muscle. It's just, especially like you're that tall, like you already got shit fucked up. Like your knees are already probably all gas. Like like you're already doing fucking crazy shit. So that's kind of that. I mean, they're under for the win total already cashed. So that's kind of that cashed like weeks ago too. So
Yeah.
I don't know the current NBA playoff picture. Are they in it right now or no?
They're in the play-in, I think, by like 2 games.
Oof, I forgot about the play-in. Yeah, so I mean that's what they're gonna have to. I mean, it would be a kind of it would be very LeBron to take a team from the play-in all the way through. I think the West is just too deep for that to happen this year.
Oh, it is way, way too stacked. There's not a shot. I honestly, even as a Laker fan, I can't even like see them beating almost anybody in a 7 game series. Like maybe the Mavs, maybe, and that's just if you play really, really good and you're probably gonna win in 6 or 7 games. You ain't beating the Warriors. The way John Morant's playing, you ain't beating the Grizzlies either.
Dude, he's
You
insane. He's insane.
probably you're probably still not beating the Nuggets. Probably not beating the Jazz either. It's like there's just so many teams that just like there's no way you're beating them in a 7 game series.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things shake out throughout the year for them. I wonder if they're gonna do anything. That trade deadline happened already. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do.
Trade deadline's gone. The only thing they could possibly
They
do
do
is
those
like
buyouts and shit, right? Yeah,
they could, yeah, buyout contracts. They literally didn't make a single move. That too irked me so much, but at the same time, they are in such a hole that they can't do anything. There's nobody on the roster that's worth value. Westbrook is a horrible contract that nobody wants to eat. You can't get nothing for him. Um, Anthony Davis, I mean, he is injury prone, but you can't trade him at this point because you're going to be he's got to be the golden ticket. Otherwise, the franchise is screwed for like 10 years. I mean, you ain't trading LeBron, and other than that, I mean, there's really nobody that's worth any trade value. THT, his value dropped a lot. Malik Monk, I would say, yeah, but he's been one of your best players off the bench. You can't even trade him. He's almost untradeable. And that's the only guy you would get something for, but you can't even trade him because then if you trade him, what do you got?
just crazy to think that a LeBron-led team is not even, a top five seed in their conference right now. Obviously he's been on some bad teams before, but he's been always kind of able to put the weight on his shoulders. And this year he's just, whether that's age or just like the people he's surrounded himself with, but things aren't looking good for them. We'll see. The one thing I do like about the NBA this year, not that I've watched even a second of it, is that there's a little bit of parity in it. You obviously have a few top teams like the Bulls are great, and the Warriors. I think are the Warriors the one seed in the
The Warriors
West.
are still the ones. Yeah, they're still the
Yeah.
ones.
So I mean, Steph is going to be Steph, but there's no clear cut like this team is going to win without a doubt. There ain't no 73-9 Warriors. There's no, you know, that.
It's about time that there's a little more spread among the competitiveness. You remember those 4 years? It was Warriors and Cavs every year. It was just got to be so boring at some point. It's like, oh my god, like again, like I don't need to see these teams in the finals every year.
Yeah.
Thank God that stopped. I mean, any team could honestly win it right now. I mean, you got a good. I would give it honestly a good 6 teams that have a valid shot. That'd be probably the Grizz, the Warriors, the Jazz, and then on the East, I'd probably say the Bulls, the Heat, and the Bucks, obviously, and also I'd probably say dark horse probably the Celtics for the East.
Oh boy.
And there's just a lot of good teams out there.
Love me some parity. I will be watching the playoffs, especially there's no baseball, but I love a good playoff series down the stretch. I'll probably miss the opening round because that's when you get the blowouts and the 1 versus 8. Maybe I'll watch the playing games, but all my attention right now is on hockey. I will wrap up with that. I'm just we kind of talked about this a little bit about before the show, but the Hurricanes right now are playing the Capitals on ESPN Plus and Hulu, and I don't understand why ESPN spent all this goddamn money for rights to the NHL for them to put that shit behind a paywall. This ain't UFC. This ain't a sport that has pay-per-view. Like, it's a fucking national hockey league game. Put it on TV. Put it on ESPN too. Like, do something with it. I mean, I don't understand why they wouldn't be on the main ESPN broadcast. Like, what are they showing on Thursday night? Like,
Actually, right now they got Knights and Bruins.
on ESPN.
Yeah, regular ESPN. Yeah.
Oh, so that's fine. But then don't put it like. Why are you gonna? Right now, the Canes are playing on behind a paywall. That shit pisses me off. Like, I just
No,
don't.
they should be on. They should be on ESPN too,
ESPN
or
two or
ESPN News, or literally ESPN's got like 5 channels.
that's what I'm saying. Like they literally have a fucking run on my cable, like 6-7 channels deep in a row, and then between that, like all the networks and everything, just like it's fucking garbage, man. Like I don't understand. This ain't like it's. There's just no reason for any professional sport to be behind a paywall. I don't care how much money ESPN paid for it. Like it's just, and I'm sure the numbers aren't great. I'm sure the advertisers aren't stoked about that. Like the teams definitely don't like it when half half their fans can't watch. Like, especially, a few people, you pay for it because you get access to, you get some college basketball. Like, there's a lot of stuff you do get, but I'm not paying for that. Like, I'm not giving ESPN another damn dollar. So, like, what?
No, they don't need any ESPN Plus. Don't need any more money. The only reason I can see like hockey games that are on ESPN Plus is because my friend's got an ESPN Plus account. And I just use his whenever there's a game, whenever there's a hockey gift. If let's say I like bet on a hockey game and it's not on TV, but it's on ESPN Plus, then I'll watch it. Other than that, I'm not pulling up ESPN Plus for really anything.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like what you described is kind of probably the case for most people. Like everyone's got one person that they know that's got an ESPN Plus account. They probably all pass around the accounts, passwords. They rotate it through. Like it's just horse shit. I'm pissed about it, and I might be a little pissed about it because the Hurricanes always lose when they're on the ESPN Plus and behind the wall. But that's just a different story. But yeah, I mean, Canes are a fucking wagon except when they're on ESPN. But yeah, I'm really excited for playoff hockey too.
And man, playoff hockey is gonna be great. LGR baby, Rangers got a good shot to make a deep run.
Oh God,
we got the second coming of Henrik Lundqvist. Baby's name is Igor Shesterkin.
You gotta watch some Canes hockey. If you think that guy, my boy Freddie Anderson, he's a fucking G.
Freddie Anderson, yeah, okay. He's okay, but he ain't no Igor.
You guys better hope that you don't match up with the Canes in round one like you did in the bubble, because that would not be good.
That was a completely different team.
Anything else you got?
Oh man, I mean, it's probably it for now. But hey, guys, should be a nice season too. I mean, hopefully baseball's back, so that at least me and Adam could talk Mets Yankees, because I know those are always fun. But while they're in a lockout, we're just going to be sitting here basically yelling at a wall. But I mean, hey, I don't mind yelling at walls. It's therapeutic.
Feels good to be back. Empire's Finest Season 2 in the books. Season 2, Episode 1. Make sure you follow us on socials. Twitter, Empire's Finest with the 1 is an Empire. On Instagram, Empire's Finest. The 1 is in Finest. We're going to get those back up and running. We got a new editor, a new producer, so we'll see how that goes. I don't, like I said, recording this Thursday. I don't know when it's coming out. But if you're obviously watching on YouTube, like the video, subscribe on YouTube, do all that fun stuff, and keep an eye out. Creepy Blogs is coming back soon too. So now that I got cleared up my time a little bit, my schedule, I guess last thing is if you know anyone hiring, let me know. I'm looking for a job. All right, thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back soon. Peace.
Later.